की फतेह। वार श्री भगवती जी की पातशाही 10वीं प्रथम भगवती सिमर के गुरु नानक ਲਈ ਤੇ ਆਏ ਅੰਗਦ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਰਾਮਦਾਸੇ ਹੋਈ ਸਹਾय। अर्जन हर गोबिंद नो सिमरो श्री हर राय। श्री हर कृष्ण ध्याई है जिस डिठै सब दुख जाए। तेग बहादुर सिमरियै कर नौ निधावे धाए। 10वें पातशाह श्री गुरु गोबिंद सिंह महाराज पंथ दे वाली सब थाई हो जी सहाय। 10 पातशाहियां दी जोत श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी दे पाठ दर्शन दीदार दा ध्यान धर के बोलना जी वाहिगुरु। हे निमाणिਆਂ ਦੇ ਮਾਣ ਨਿਤਾਣੇ ਤਾਣ ਨਿਓਟਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਓਟ ਨੇ ਆਸਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਆਸਰੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਕਰਨ ਪਿਤਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀਓ। ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਹਜ਼ੂਰ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਚੌਧਰੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ। ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਪਾਰ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਮਿਹਰ ਦਾ ਸਦਕਾ ਸਾਈਬਰ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੁੜੀ ਹੈ। ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗੇ ਹਾਂ। ਦਤਾਰ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀਓ ਸਰਬੱਤ ਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਮਿਹਰ ਭਰਿਆ ਹੱਥ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਆਪ ਕਰਾਣੀ। ਅੱਖਰ ਵਾਧਾ ਘਾਟਾ ਭੁੱਲ ਚੁੱਕ ਮਾਫ ਕਰਨੀ। ਸਰਬੱਤ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਜ ਰਾਸ ਕਰਨੇ। ਸਹੀ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਮੇਲਣੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਚੇਤਾਵੇ। ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਭਾਣੇ।
ਸਰਬੱਤ ਕਾ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ
ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Anji, this is Ravinder Singh from Columbus, Ohio, connecting with you for another session of Khoj Gurbani. So welcome all. I know we have a couple of new faces. I will get acquainted with them as we go along. So the thought for today is that we are going to revisit Pauris 17 through 19, not in much detail, but quickly stop at a few points and then decide together where we want to go. If you've read the blog on this discussion, there's a couple of things that I think we need to speak to. There seems to be a feeling that perhaps we are complicating things more than we need to, that perhaps we need to sort of stick with the textual meaning of the passages under consideration. And because we now have a panel that is in its composition a little different from previous one, what I would like to do is maybe reset the button here and reach out to the people who were not here last week, give them an opportunity to actually express their opinions about Pauris 17 to 19, and then we'll pause for a little while and then talk about some of the issues around the discussions that we've had. So with that said, I'm going to reach out to, I see Concur Khoj is here. Concur Khoj, would you like to share your perspective for Pauris 17th and 19th in a couple of minutes?
I'm not tuned into what the discussion was previously, so if I repeat it,
we'll get to the discussion. Well, I don't want to reveal the discussion before giving you a chance to.
Oh, okay. For me, the 17th through the 19th Pauris are, Guru Nanak kind of getting into his field of non-dualistic thinking and taking us into that place. So that he's in the 17th and 19th Pauris, he's seeing that light and shadow exist in the creation in equal proportions. That there's endless lovers and there's endless thieves and there's endless givers and there's endless the endlessness of the light and the shadow. And what he does is get us out of our thinking that I know what's right or wrong, right? My judgment of light or shadow is somehow the definition of right. But at the end of those two Pauris, he says, it's what's pleasing to you that's good, not what I think is good. And then in Nanak and each have vichar, that's a line I think a lot of discussion happens around. And for me, I see it as Nanak acknowledging there's shadow in me too. Like I'm not going to pretend I'm a shadowless being. I speak of my own weaknesses. I'm speaking of my own shadow when I'm talking about what I'm seeing outside. And then what the 19th Pauri does is takes us into the neutral zone. That non-duality is ultimately an experience of sort of endless neutrality. And rather than getting into judgment, it's just honoring the vast diversity of the play and how endless the play is, and then we get into the Akri Nam, and I know we're going to talk about that more tonight, but for me, that's part of the dimension of nod and how everything is coming from the sound current into form. And what we need to do is tune into that divine sound, not tune into our judgment and our thinking, but into the divine sound and enjoy it. So that's kind of in a nutshell how I would share about those 3 Pauris.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Let me turn to Harpreet Singh. Harpreet Singh ji, welcome. To have you back here after a fair amount of time. Would you want to, Anji? Would you want to give us your take?
Yes, I'm. I think what I find interesting is that there is a discussion around in the 4017 around attributes that could be construed as virtuous. So and then or at least things that in that social context were considered virtuous. And then in the 1840, we've got things that would not be considered good, and then the 19th one takes a more neutral tone. That was my, I guess, my 2 cents where what I thought is changing, but they all seem to go together.
ठीक है जी. Thank you. We'll come back. Sujit Singh Veer ji, I believe you are on today.
हाँ जी भरा जी.
हाँ जी, we are on 4017 through 19 ਤੇ 17 ਤੋਂ 19ਵੀਂ ਪੌੜੀ ਤੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ.
हाँ जी.
ਪਿਛਲੇ ਹਫਤੇ ਵੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਮੁੜ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਕੁਝ ਨਵੇਂ ਲੋਕ ਵੀ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਲੈਵਲ ਸੈਟਿੰਗ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਥੋੜੀ. If you want to sort of present your views for 17 through the 19th, ਇੱਥੇ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਰਮਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ?
यानी कि अखरी नाम अखरी सलाह ते आके गल आ रही है ना, इत्थे तक पुजे ना ਆਪਾਂ.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਤੋਂ ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਕਰੋ ਗੱਲ, ਫਿਰ ਅਖਰੀ ਨਾਮ ਤੇ ਆ ਜਾਓ.
ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਨਾਲ ਤਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੁਦਰਤ ਕੌਣ ਕਹਾਂ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਹੈ ਉਹਦਾ ਕਨਸੈਪਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਕਾਊਂਟਲੈਸ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਭਾਈ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੰਖ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਭਾਈ ਇੱਕ ਪੌੜੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਉਹ ਜਪਣ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਦੀ, ਫਿਰ ਇੱਕ ਪੌੜੀ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪੋਜ਼ਿਟਿਵ ਐਟੀਟਿਊਡ ਤੇ ਦੂਜੇ ਨੈਗੇਟਿਵ ਐਟੀਟਿਊਡ ਵਾਲੇ ਪੂਰੇ, ਫਿਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਰੱਬ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਨਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੀਜੀ ਪੌੜੀ 19 ਪੌੜੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਨਾ ਅਸੰਖ ਨਾਮ ਅਸੰਖ ਥਾਮ ਤੋਂ, ਹੈ ਨਾ.
ਹਾਂਜੀ.
ਇਹ ਜੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਵੰਡਰ ਪਤਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ? ਦੇਖੋ ਅਸੰਖ ਨਾਮ ਅਸੰਖ ਥਾਮ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਮੁੱਕ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਵਿਨ ਨਾਵੇਂ ਨਾਹੀ ਕੋ ਥਾਮ. ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਅਸੰਖ ਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਅਸੰਖ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਨਾਲ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਵਿਨ ਨਾਵੇਂ ਨਾਹੀ ਕੋ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ.
Hello.
Haji Sujit Singh ji, are you on? Somehow I can't hear you.
मैं गुरजीत सिंह जी ऑस्ट्रेलिया तो. Can you hear me जी?
Haji, I can hear you. We had Surjit Singh actually
Gurjeet Singh.
No, Surjit Singh was talking. I know you're Gurjeet Singh from Australia, okay. And I think we've lost him somewhere. I'll come to you in a moment.
रविंदर जी मैं बोल रहा सीगा लेकिन मैं सोचा भी शायद गुरजीत जी अपने कोई विचार देना चाहते हैं.
ते सुजीत वीर जी, are you comfortable speaking in English or would you want to?
थोड़ा जा मैंने एक्चुअली रीजन है कि मेरे लिए थोड़ा जा भी मैं अंडरस्टैंड तो कर लवांगा, हो सकता है मैं ना.
ओके, नहीं करो ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੋ ਵਿਨ ਨਾਵੇਂ ਕੋ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ
ਹਾਂ ਵਿਨ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਹੀ ਕੋ ਥਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੈਂਡ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ. ਵਿਨ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਹੀ ਕੋ ਥਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗੀ. ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਬੰਦਗੀ ਹੈ. ਅਸੰਖ ਕਹਿ ਕੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੰਖ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਜਪਣ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਅੱਖਰ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਨੇ. ਔਰ ਫਿਰ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੱਢ ਲਿਆ, ਫਿਰ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਵਿਨ ਨਾਵੇਂ ਨਾਹੀ ਕੋ ਥਾਂ, ਵੀ ਭਾਈ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਥਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੰਜ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਵੀ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਐਗਜ਼ਿਸਟੈਂਸ ਹੈਗੀ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵਜੂਦ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਹਦਾ ਵੰਡਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਤੇ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ।
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ, thank you. ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਗੁਰਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ from Australia. I think this is your first time on. Wireless caller. Are you there?
Yes, ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ have you been following the discussion so far?
ਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ
ਹਾਂਜੀ, so would you want to give
whatever
us
I
your
got it.
would you want to give us your take on the Pauris 17 through the 19th?
Yeah, I will start with the word jap. Asankh jap, asankh pao.
And you have a couple of minutes to.
Okay.
Anji.
What is jap? We have to find the meaning of jap from Gurmat. ਅਸੰਖ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਪ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਗੁਰਮਤ ਦਾ ਜਪ ਇੱਕ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਜਪ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਉਹਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੌੜਤਾ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਹੈ। ਰਾਮ ਜਪੋ ਜੀ ਐਸੇ ਐਸੇ, ਧਰੂ ਪ੍ਰਹਲਾਦ ਜਪਿਓ ਹਰ ਜੈਸੇ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, can you express yourself in English, because we have people who don't understand Punjabi too well.
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਹੈਜ਼ ਪੁੱਟ ਅ ਸਟੈਂਪ ਓਵਰ ਦਾ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਧਰੂ ਐਂਡ ਪ੍ਰਹਲਾਦ, ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਪਿਆ ਸੀ ਔਰ ਹਰੇਕ ਸਿੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਉਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ ਜਪਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ। ਐਵਰੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੈਜ਼ ਟੂ ਜਪ ਡਜ਼ਨਟ ਮੀਨ ਟੂ ਰਿਪੀਟ, ਜਪ ਮੀਨ ਟੂ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੈਂਡ। Repetition doesn't improve understanding. Research, खोज जो है वो understanding improve कर दी है गुरबाणी दी, और that should come from within गुरबाणी. The word akhar which you have used has also few places you have to spell it as akhar.
So can we talk about the context here then? How is that word being used here? I would urge you to stay within the context of these Pauris. In a more thematic way. So if I were to look at these Pauris, I would sort of try and see, is there a theme running through them? Can I discern a theme, and what is it? And then we can get on to some of the finer nuances that you are trying to talk about.
Okay. The Gurbani starts with a jap.
No, I'm talking about these Pauris.
Yeah, and the jap has been redefined from Pauri number 17th. Asankh jap.
So help us understand how. Hanji.
There is a difference between the jap of Gurmat and there is a difference between the jap which are not in Gurmat. That's why there are asankh japs and there has been asankh granths created. So from there, if we take and we come back to akhar, the akhar is written so that we can do the jap. It says in akhara mein jo gurmukh bujhe, akhar kuch bujha rahe hain. Akhar is not God, but akhar has got some theme related to God. Je o akhar bujle jaan, फिर ਆਪਾਂ ਅੱਖਰ ਤੋਂ ਅਖਰ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਜਾਾਂਗੇ। The God is akhar, not akhar. Akhar is not, the akhar is chetan, akhar is not chetan. But from here the journey begins and we ultimately reach the akhar. पर जिसने लिखे हैं अखर, he is not responsible because ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਲਿਖਵਾਏ ਗਏ। Someone else is ordering that person to write these akhars. ਜਿਵ ਫੁਰਮਾਏ ਤਿਵ ਤਿਵ ਪਾਏ. And the whole Gurbani contains those akhars which are not Guru Nanak's akhars but akhars of Guru Nanak's Guru. And the whole Gurbani contains naam. Vin naame nahi ko thaun. Gurbani which सिर्फ नाम है, इस तो इलावा कोई और वस्तु नहीं है। The whole Gurbani is full of akhars and the akhars contain naam in it. We have got a very nice pankti with which I finish. Samajh booj jo karat bichara. This is Bhagat Kabir ji's hymn in Bavan Akhri. Samaj, you have to understand these akhars. Then Booj, there is a riddle hidden in these akhars. And then you have to discuss amongst yourself. Tau Pavjal Tartna Lavat Bara. Then within 1 second you can leave this Maya.
ठीक है जी. Thank you very much for
Thank you
that
ji.
insight. Let me see who I can see here. Harvinder Singh, who have I missed here? People who have come for the first time.
I think we covered everyone.
We
So,
covered everyone.
and we have in the other panel we have Dilpreet Veer ji, Charan Singh Veer ji, and Paramjit Singh Rana ji.
Acha ji. Okay. Dilpreet Singh ji, do you want to quickly make any observation? I know you were part of the discussion last week.
Right. So the way I see this, the word asankh has been used very much here, and it refers to that there are countless of people who are doing different types of things. So there are different types of people doing different types of things, and Guru Nanak is at the end keeping things open-ended, that the definition of infinity is open. He is not saying that if you cannot close the definition by saying that this is the final definition of it. And then towards the end, I think he's where he's closing the whole thought, and then the next Pauris will guide us that Jeta Kita Teta Now Win Name Nai Ko Thao, that whatever we see around is or whatever is going on, it is all as per his law or under that hukam, and all of this is happening. And then, as Virji previously mentioned, and that slowly it will be pointing towards that what is right, what is wrong, or how the gyan or the naam is coming, or how we have to follow. So this is again it is saying that multiple peoples are doing multiple things, and then slowly it is taking us towards the definition of that what naam is.
ठीक है जी. Ji, Paramjit Singh ji, Rana ji, do you want to take a minute, because you were there last week, so you're a little more familiar, but we've had some new speakers. Would you like to make an observation?
Anji, hello, Sastikal ji, and Gurufadi to everybody. Yes, I was part of the discussion last week, and there was very interesting discussion. I don't want to add anything more to what has been said, but I will jump to the last 4 lines if we want to talk about Akhri Naam Akhri Salah. You want me to?
Yeah, we'll come to those.
Okay.
We'll pause at those.
Okay. Aside from
but I'm
that,
just giving you an.
Sorry.
And you carry on.
Okay. Aside from there, I think what I said earlier that Guru Sahib is basically describing the diversity which exists in this universe, and that's when he's using the countless things that are happening both in the spiritual domain as well as in the worldly domain, and that's what Guru Sahib is describing. He's not claiming that the 6 should be doing, but he's just presenting a picture to us, and that's what I see in Pauris 17 and 18. And 19th, the word which is coming, which I will come back to that, Naam is being used, and we need to have some, in my opinion, some foundational definition which will be built over time so we can understand what Naam is over time, but we have the working definition. So that's my comment on that.
Thank you, Ji. Okay, let me go very quickly to Uncle Ranbir Singh. Uncle Ji, would you want to sort of make a comment?
Actually, all I'm going to say is that Sir Ravel Singh ji ne explained, he kateta now, Vinami ko thao, and I really am grateful to him for clarifying this for me. Because
can you share?
I was a little confused earlier. Jeta kita, all that is created, Teta now. And this is all what means is that
So
only
I'm
with
losing you
Ji from
completely.
our place. Guru Sahib tells us that all that has been created is active as well. Out Akal, there's no peer as well. And I Singh Ji for clarifying this to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle. I'm sorry, you cut off for me at least. Did everyone get a chance to hear Ranbir Singh Ji?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I think we lost a lot of what you said.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Would you want to very quickly, maybe perhaps repeat what you said in maybe a minute or so as to what the central confusion was that you were able to get rid of through Ravel Singh Ji's comments?
I think it is his explanation of Cheta Kita Teta Now.
Hanji.
We nahi ko thao. That all that has been created is according to his will.
Ji.
And God, Akal Purkh, pervades all his creation.
ठीक है जी. Thank you. Andy Charan Singh Veer ji.
My only request to all panel members is that I know some people find it a little complicated, but my point is only, are we considering the meanings from the Gurbani or from secondary sources? Here is the first point where my perspective deviates from the general pool of members' understanding. I agree with Gurjeet ji from Australia that the foundation of our understanding should not be other than Gurbani. We have to dig our answers only from the Gurbani. And if somebody has put some perspective based on Gurbani, challenge that perspective based on Gurbani, not on secondary sources, and just not by picking one or two things from here and there and make a general comment about the what is written on the blogs. I would really appreciate in case we could focus more on Gurbani rather than the tons and tons of asankh secondary sources and then bring the hot boiling pots into our discussions. Thank you.
Does someone want to make a comment on what observation Charan Singh Ji has just said here? Harpreet Singh Ji, do you want to comment on this?
Well,
what's your sense? I mean, you're a man of methodology and method and procedures, and how do we carry on a discussion?
Well, I think what Charan Singh Ji has said, is certainly true in the sense that we want to stick to primary sources, but at the same time, I generally find that the study of primary sources can be augmented, and one can benefit from secondary sources as well, because at the end of the day, even if one is studying primary sources in isolation, one might not get the right perspective unless one consults other sources. So even I would say within one Shabad there is intertextuality with other Shabads. So one, if someone else can give us a deeper perspective, someone who has a much richer understanding, so it could be beneficial. But at the end of the day, I think I agree that the primary source is what is valuable, and we should definitely try to engage with it along with the secondary sources.
So let me ask a follow-up question here to you. Perhaps this will be, so are we not in this discussion engaging with a primary source? We are trying to unpack what is to us a primary source, which is Gurbani, which is Japji Sahib the 17th or 19th body. would you not consider that a primary source? Is the
Certainly.
objection to the fact that we are bringing an interpretation that is not based on Gurbani? I mean, I'm trying to just get some clarity here.
No, I think the Japji Sahib, the 340s we are discussing are the primary source. I think the objection that was raised was that why are we discussing a blog, or why are we discussing someone else's comments?
Okay, we'll continue on this. I want to give Ekunkarji a chance to speak to Charan Singh Ji's comments. Ekunkarji, where do you stand on this? What is your sense of what Charan Singh Ji has said? Because I think we are all picking up different things.
Well, I mean, my sense of what he's saying is the Guru, what the Guru said is enough, and let's just stick with it. But I don't disagree with that, but I'm going to come back to a point I made in the blog some weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, which is that I really feel like Gurbani has been mismapped, like that language operates from a map, and we don't understand the map of Gurbani, and that's the problem, is that words mean things in relationship to each other because they're describing a holistic reality, and Guru Nanak took us to a different dimension than what language normally describes. So we've got to have a way to understand the map and how the words relate to each other, and so Gurbani is the main source, but, you know, like for me in my life, I always go to spiritual experience because every word in Gurbani is talking about an experience that is not intellectual. It's very visceral and tactile and vibrational. So I think what he's saying is I would fundamentally support it, but I'm going to keep adding this caveat that I don't think we've mapped Gurbani appropriately to the dimension that Guru Nanak was speaking from, and that's where a lot of the confusion and pulling on other sources, because we're trying to figure the map out still.
So would it be accurate to say that what you're suggesting here is that it is because we do not have the experience yet, or are still forming the experience, that we can't map the language, or is it because we haven't tried enough?
Well, you know, I mean, I'm going to be radical here. I think it's a little something more insidious. I think when the British came into India and they deliberately distorted the map for the Sikhs, they asked the Sikhs to speak and think in more Western terms and Western philosophical terms and more Christian terms, and that the map got lost through a kind of mental colonization that happened. And I apologize if I offend anybody, but that's kind of my radical perspective on it.
Okay, interesting. I'll come back to you again.
Guruji, I would like to say something because.
Haji, I'll come to you.
No. Let me clarify what I mean by that, because members have understood differently. What I mean by primary source consultation is Guru Nanak, from Guru Nanak to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, there are 7 solid sources in Sri Guru Granth Sahib and in the Dasam Bani that can be used as a source to explain and describe and reflect upon the Gurbani. Now we are not considering all those sources, but we are considering the other sources. Those are the sources I'm calling as secondary sources. We are discussing Gurbani, there is no doubt about that, but to unfold the meaning of those Gurbani, and I agree with both the earlier speakers, it is some kind of colonialization which has impacted our inspiration to draw our meanings from the intrinsic sources and not depend upon the secondary sources which have been flooded on us. And even after 150 years, we are not clear whether it is a Komkar or a Kankar or O Konkar. There are numerous type of pronunciation bombarded on us, and we have not tried to verify it from the primary sources what it could mean. I agree with Ekankar Kaurji, it is experiential, but if we are having a diluted acid, will it affect the same way as a concentrated acid will do? No. The experience will definitely be from the pure Gurbani. That's what I'm trying to say, that we should open Gurbani from Gurbani rather than the secondary sources. I think I should be clear by now. and now everybody can suggest if I'm right or wrong.
I think we need to be very careful about a right or wrong. And I've said this before. At least I'll offer my perspective. I don't think it is about right or wrong, and I think what is important is learning more than figuring out right and wrong. And based on what you've just said, Charan Singh Virji, I personally am even more confused than I was before. So perhaps I'm a little slow on the uptake and I don't quite understand what exactly is being said. Hopefully the other members have some clarity. But let's carry on this discussion because it's obviously a point that keeps popping up over and again. Surjit Singh Virji, since you have followed this discussion, would you want to comment on the sort of methodology we are following?
ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਪੌੜੀਆਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਫਿਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਡਿਸਟਰੈਕਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਸੈਕੰਡਰੀ ਸੋਰਸ ਜਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਇਮਰੀ ਸੋਰਸ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਸੰਖ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਅਸੰਖ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਬਾਰ-ਬਾਰ ਰਿਪੀਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਲਾਸਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਅੱਖਰੀ ਨਾਮ ਅੱਖਰੀ ਸਾਲਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਨਾਲ ਸਪੈਸੀਫਿਕ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਜੇਕਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਾਕਈ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਪੌੜੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਵਿਆਖਿਆ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਮਝ ਆਈ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਡਿਸਟਰੈਕਟ ਹੋ
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਜੀ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ
ਚਲੇ ਗਏ ਵੀ ਸੋਰਸ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਪ੍ਰਾਇਮਰੀ ਸੋਰਸ
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ ਅੰਕਲ ਜੀ ਰਣਵੀਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੋਗੇ
ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੰਨਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ he is described about the infinity of various pursuits people are engaged in, and in the end he says that all this is, he's not condemning any one of them or praising any one of them or saying this one is right, this one is wrong. And from what I get from Jif Ramai Tivte Pai Jeta Kita Teta Nao Vina Bhi Kuthao, what he's saying is that everybody is doing what is written for him, and so that's it. And then he says that whatever is being done, what is happening is according to his will, and then he pervades everywhere. So, and we learn this in Guru Granth Sahib again and again, that all this universe is his creation, and aap sat kiya sab sat. So there is nothing intrinsically good or bad, according to Guru Sahib, because it's all created by Akal Purkh. And
thank you,
Ji. I think that should help somewhat.
Hanji, thank you. Hanji, Paramjit Singh Rana ji.
Hanji.
I know that you've written a blog today that I saw very quickly, and you sort of made the point that we are making things needlessly complex.
First, let me say that because we are on the panel with different experiences, different level of knowledge, and I duly very much respect Charan Singh ji, because I think one of the level of his gurmat is lot higher than at least me and other people too. So it becomes very difficult when two people sitting on the same platform and try to communicate, unless the person who has profound knowledge makes sure the person who doesn't have a knowledge brings that knowledge down to that level so the person can understand that. Now, let me give you one example. When I was going to school early, after I graduated, my professor told me one thing, and I'm just going to share this. It will take a few seconds. So you open a dictionary, and you want to look at meaning of one word, you don't understand the meaning of the word, you go and look for that meaning. And you find another word and you discover that you don't know the meaning of that word too. Then you go back to the dictionary again, you look for the meaning for that. Ultimately, you come back to the first word. So there's a basic assumption there that if we go and look for the primary source only, we might get stuck with certain words for which we have to go to secondary sources to get clarification. Even Guru Nanak Sahib went and consulted so many different people to get knowledge. And why do we hesitate? Our primary source is Guru Granth Sahib, which we are doing it. But to get clarification and bringing on the board, have reflection from other people, there's nothing wrong with that, that this is thought which is coming in. Can it be? Because even the concept of Naam is not very clear to us. And I'm going to circles. the concept of Shabbat is not clear to us. Concept of Hukam is not clear to us because they're so complex things. If we just go into circles here, I mean primary source only, then perhaps we will be going to circles. So I think we should be augment these things to secondary sources, but it depends on the level of enlightenment, personal understanding. For me, I just go and look at the secondary sources as well to get clarification. And I find that, for example, we talk about three guns, Tavogun, Satogun, Tavogun, and all that. Then I went back and looked at the Bani, which is not in Guru Granth Sahib. Yes, it's stated very clearly how these concepts are defined there, and we can bring those concepts back here. So my take on that is, yes, we should be focusing on primary source, but there's no harm getting clarification from secondary sources.
ठीक है जी. Have I given everybody a chance to actually weigh in on this conversation? Have I missed someone?
I think I'm left.
Aji Gurjeet Singh ji, sorry, do you want to pipe in?
Yeah, means it's pretty good. I will agree to what Oankar Kaur has said, that our Gurmat agenda has been hijacked from last about 300-400 years. We have now slowly started to understand it through Gurbani. We have been, basically, because we were small in number, we were involved in all this, we know the fights which were basically put on us. We really got very less time to explore Gurbani. And it's the time, like we have started this thing, all these things will help to improve our understanding. But in all this, when we are doing, because I have basically read all tikas, I have not left anything. There is only a copy paste coming at each stage. There is not much difference coming, and that's why people are concluding that Jeta Kita Teta now is outside, but this is related to Akhar. Wherever the Akhar is written in Gurbani, it relates to now, but that now has a capacity to do sanjog within us. And which two elements have to do the sanjog is not clear, looks like. No one has actually tried to address Akhari Likhan Bolan Bani. If you read that, you will understand it more. Akhar likhya hai, but when you speak, it becomes Bani. So this Akhar has got a capacity. Akhran sir sanjog wakhan. Akhar ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਨੀ ਕੈਪੈਸਿਟੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਬੈਡ ਕੌਨਸ਼ੀਅਸ ਔਰ ਗੁੱਡ ਕੌਨਸ਼ੀਅਸ ਦਾ ਮੇਲ ਕਰਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ. ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਵਿਖਿਆਨ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਲਈਏ at the level which people have pointed out, at what level Guru Nanak has written, we are trying to reach there, but we are not there yet. We keep on pursuing. The Akhar has got the capacity, provided we understand and we can solve the riddle, what was given to us. The whole Gurbani is written for Sanjog. And Sanjog is between, you can say, Man and Chit. There are two elements in us.
Haji, theek hai ji. I appreciate your getting into a discourse. I just wanted your comments on what Charanjit said. Let me go back to Charan Singh ji. So, can you, you've heard everybody on the panel, so can you help me also understand perhaps, so how should we have this discussion? I mean, is there another way we should be carrying on this discussion?
Ravinder ji, can I say something before you go?
I'm sorry, Dilpreet ji, Anji, Polo.
See, I think this is a very healthy discussion. Everybody has their own filters with which you look at everything. And your filters are based on your past, based on the knowledge, based on your upbringing, and based on the research which we do, and which change over the period of time, and it will keep changing. And that is why Guru Nanak has not given a finite definition. More we learn, again we will explore more. And we will have a difference of opinions, our beliefs will be challenged, but at the end of the day, some of our beliefs will break and it will evolve, and we all are evolving and helping each other to evolve. I think it is a process which is a very healthy process, and I think it is helping each other, and we all are going through it. So there will be some disagreements and other things, but it is a healthy discussion, and we all will evolve collectively. Thank you.
Thank you, Dilpreet Singh ji. I think I could not have said it better than you have expressed this. You've really echoed my own feelings in terms of how to, because we have to all come together, Sangati Rupich, and we are all sort of coming at this from. It is like the case of seven blind men trying to describe an elephant. It is somewhat like that. I mean, it all appears different to the individuals, and I think we all kind of are coming at this a little differently. But nonetheless, I think it's a healthy discussion. The reason I'm pausing here for a while is I want to make sure that we are all comfortable with the approach that we have taken so far. We've been doing this now for about 5 or 6 months. We are at the 17th through the 19th 40. We had said that we were going to start with just the text. We were going to try and get a sense of what the words mean. We were then going to look at any thematic, any theme that runs through the passage, and then we also said that there will be concepts that pop up that we are not all very clear about, such as the ones that Gurjeet Singh, I believe, raised. We are not clear about Naam, we are not clear about Shabad. My point to that simply is, will we ever be clear about that? Perhaps not. But nonetheless, the process must continue. So I want to make sure that we are all happy doing this sort of thing the way we are doing, including and Dilpreet's point, disagreements are part of the discussion. And I'll quote my good friend IJ Singh, who keeps saying we can disagree, but we don't have to be disagreeable. So I just want to raise this again. Are we okay with the way we are continuing, or is there something fundamentally missing that we ought to incorporate?
Let me just recap the whole responses. First answer to why we are having asankh views. It is in context with Surjit Singh Virji's that this discussion is not focused on the Pauris. I think it is very much focused on the Pauris because there is a diversity of our own 7, 8, 10 people in our views, right? Now, why there is a difference, I'm trying to bring a layer that because our understanding is from the secondary sources, my reasoning is if we were only concentrated on the, I'm naming these sources, पट्टी लिखी राग आसा महला पहला, पट्टी महला तीजा, 52 अखरी कबीर साहब, दखनी ओंकार बाणी एंड बाणी सोड़िए तक अगर असी भट्ट साहबान दी जड़ी बाणी है, if we consult all these sources and on top of that if we consider Dasam Bani, we will find that there will be no difference of opinion in 10 or 100 or even million people discussing the same aspect. Guru Nanak did not leave us with the questioning minds. He has provided us answers, and those answers can only be found, if I am very clearly stating this now, only when we are consulting Gurbani, opening Gurbani, reading, understanding Gurbani, and from the Gurbani only. If we are consulting the secondary sources, there will be bias. There will be asankh jap, asankh pav valid, as true as it is written. But when we converge to the Akhri Naam, which is the Bani, which is the Gurbani, which is the Naam Bani, we will be converging. All of us will be converging to one consensus meaning. What is Naam? What is Sabad? We are calling it Shabad. We even don't know if the Shabad exists in the Gurbani or not. So we will be consensusly stating the same thing, and that will be the place where will all we believe be evolving into a composite experiential reality Khoj has been mentioning. We will experience only Gurbani if we are consulting Gurbani with Gurbani. We have not to dilute it. That's a strategy if we follow. My personal view is that we will gain better problem in continuing with the asankh approach, as some members
So
have stated
Viji,
that
let me just stop you here. So what I'm hearing you say is that if we were doing this right, we would all end up having the same interpretation of these Pauris. Am I getting that right?
I would say we
That
would
there would be
have
no
churned
divergence of
more.
opinion at all?
Let me clarify on that. For example, learned the patti and he has taken all the meanings from the patti. I have learned it from Dakhni Onkar Bani and I have a different perspective. But then when we shuffle this information with each other, we will arrive at a common conclusion because it will be based on Gurbani. It will not be divergent. That's what I'm trying to tell.
So, Ravinder Singh ji,
Hanji.
I think, can I say something? I think
I can't hear you, Harvinder. You're cutting off, and I couldn't hear Charan Singh ji
yeah,
completely either.
yeah, can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, I think what Charan Singh Viji is saying, and I think other people are saying, I think basically the same thing. To the Gurbani, to Granth Sahib, and we should not refer to the tikas, existing tikas right now. So I think what he's referring as secondary sources is all the tikas, even though we have to refer them sometime for clarity, but at least more focus on Gurbani and see the meaning from other shabads in Gurbani to get the meaning of current shabad. And so stay with more within the Gurbani than going to the external sources. And I think we are pretty much doing that. And we only go outside when we have to, because if some word is not clear or we have to get the opinion from how it is referred in the other existing tikas. And that may be okay sometime. I think we are all doing that anyhow.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਵੀਰ ਜੀ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਕੌਣ ਬੋਲ ਰਹੇ ਜੀ
ਰਵਿੰਦਰ ਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਸੁਰਜੀਤ ਬੋਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਵਾਂ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਤਕਰੀਬਨ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਧਾ ਘੰਟਾ ਇਸੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ
ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ ਵੀਰ ਜੀ
ਨਹੀਂ ਆਮ ਨਾਟ ਕ੍ਰਿਟਿਸਿਜ਼ਮ ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣ ਲਓ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਧਾ ਘੰਟਾ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਤੀ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਰਿਸੋਰਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਸੈਕੰਡਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਨੇ ਪ੍ਰਾਇਮਰੀ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਵਿਆਖਿਆ ਕਰੇ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਜੋ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਿਆ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਦੁਆਰਾ ਹੁਣ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਵਿਆਖਿਆ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮੈਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਵਾਂ ਚਲੋ ਐਨੀ ਹਾਊ ਲੀਵ ਦਾ 올 ਥਿੰਗਸ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਪਈ ਹੈ ਅਖਰੀ ਨਾਮ ਅਖਰੀ ਸਾਲਾ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਥੋੜੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਪੈਨਲ ਬਣਾ ਲਈਏ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਗ੍ਰਾਮਰ ਦੀ ਕਰਾ ਦਿਆ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਗ੍ਰਾਮਰ ਦੀ ਮੁਹਾਰਤ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਅਖਰੀ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਨਾਂਸੀਏਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗੀ ਇਹਦੀ ਇਹ ਆਏਗੀ ਬਿੰਦੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਬਹੁਵਚਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲ ਹੈਗੀ ਪਲੂਰਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੀ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਅਖਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੋਲਾਂਗੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਗ੍ਰਾਮਰ ਅਪ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗੀ ਦੂਜੀ ਗੱਲ ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟਲੀ ਜੋ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਇੱਕਦਮ ਅਸੰਖ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਵੀ ਅਸੰਖ ਹੈ ਸਿਰ ਪਾਰ ਹੋਏ ਫਿਰ ਅੱਗੋਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਅਖਰੀ ਨਾਮ ਅਖਰੀ ਸਾਲਾ ਜੇਕਰ ਅਸੰਖ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੰਝ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਪੂਰਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈ ਰਿਹਾ ਅੱਖਰ ਇਹਦਾ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਅੱਖਰੀ ਦੀ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦੀ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਅੱਖਰ ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟਲੀ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਵਰਤਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਕਿਸ ਢੰਗ ਨਾਲ ਵਰਤਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਜਿਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਗੌੜੀ 52 ਅੱਖਰੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕਬੀਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ 52 ਅੱਖਰ ਲੋਕ ਤਰੈ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਇਨਹੀ ਮਾਹੇ ਇਹ ਅੱਖਰ
ਖਿੰਡ
ਜਾਏਂਗੇ ਉਹ ਅੱਖਰ ਇਨ ਮੈਂ ਨਾ ਹੈ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਦੋ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸਿੰਘ ਦਾ ਟੀਕਾ ਫਰੀਦਕੋਟੀ ਟੀਕਾ ਮਨਮੋਹਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਹੁਣਾਂ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਇਟਸ ਬਿਊਟੀਫੁਲ ਜੋ ਮਨਮੋਹਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਚ ਤਾਂ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਚੰਗਾ ਤਾਂ ਜਿਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤਿੰਨ ਟੀਕਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਸੀਡਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਮਝ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਉਹ ਪਤਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਤਰਫ ਕਹਦੀ ਵੀ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਜਿਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਰੂਪ ਦੀ ਚਰਚਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗੇ ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਰੂਪ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈਗੀ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਜਿਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਨਾਲ ਮਿਲਣ ਦੀ ਬਾਤ ਆਵੇਗੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਅੱਖਰ ਖਿਰ ਜਾਣਗੇ
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਫਿਰ
ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ ਵੀ ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਅਖਰੀ ਨਾਮ ਅਖਰੀ ਸਾਲਾਂ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਬਿੰਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਨੇ ਅਖਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੋਲਿਆ ਜਾ ਸਕੇਗਾ ਅਖਰੀ ਬੋਲਾਂਗੇ ਫਿਰ ਅੱਗੇ ਅਖਰੀ ਗਿਆਨ ਗੀਤ ਗੁਣ ਲਾ ਵੀ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੈ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਚਰਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬੜਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਬੋਲਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਭਾਈ ਗੁਰਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਸਿਰ ਸੰਜੋਗ ਵਿਖਾਣ ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟਲੀ ਇਹਦੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਔਰ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਚੰਗੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੇਖ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਵੀ ਪਿਛਲੀ ਲਾਈਨ ਕਿਸ ਕੰਟੈਕਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਸੰਜੋਗ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਮਿਲਾਪ ਕਿਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਔਰ ਦੱਸਣੇ ਵੀ ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਮਿਲਾਪ ਦੀ ਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੇ ਭਾਗਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਫਿਰ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਿਨ ਇਹ ਲਿਖੇ ਤੇ ਸੁਣਨਾ। ਹੁਣ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਸੰਖ ਕੋਡ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਹ ਇਨਫ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਅੱਖਰ ਲੋੜ ਨੇ ਰੱਬ ਦੀ ਬਾਤ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਰੱਬ ਫਿਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਦ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਜਿਨ ਇਹ ਲਿਖੇ ਤੇ ਸੁਣਨਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਲਿਖਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਤੋ ਇਦਾਂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਗਣਤ ਗਣਾਵੇਂ ਅਖਰੀ ਅਗਣਤ ਸਾਚਾ ਸੋਏ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਯਤਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਪਮਾ ਕਰੀਏ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਜਿਹਦੀ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਪਮਾ ਕਰਨ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟਲੀ ਉਹ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਪਰਾਂ ਹੀ ਨਾ ਅਗਣਤ ਸਾਚਾ ਸੋਏ। ਮੈਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਚ ਵੀ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਵਿਸਮਾਦ ਦੱਸ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਵੰਡਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਾਰ-ਬਾਰ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਯਾਨੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜਿਗਜੈਗ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਨਾ ਬਸ ਉਹ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਭਗਤੀ ਹੈਗੀ।
हाँ जी, बहुत बहुत मेहरबानी जी। टू माई माइंड है ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵਿਆਖਿਆ ਕਰ ਹੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ। So you know, my whole point of pushing this a little is do we need to change the way we are having the discussion? Should we put out something before we have the discussion? For example, if we were going to stop and pause on Akri, should we have asked the members to come better prepared? I don't know. I'm just raising this with the people who are in the discussion. That's what I'm trying to get at, because we have been having a fairly casual kind of discussion with different opinions. People are coming together, and at the end of the day, we all sort of, I think I gain a lot from these discussions. We walk away with some breakthroughs, but should we formalize it in a different way? I don't know the answer. I'm just asking people on the call. Harpreet Singh ji, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਹੋਗੇ?
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਮੈਂ ਬਸ ਇੰਨਾ ਹੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਟੈਕਸਟ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹਿਸਟੋਰੀਕਲ ਕੰਟੈਕਸਟ ਬਾਣੀ ਦਾ, ਉਹ ਜੋ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਬਾਨਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਦਾਅਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਬਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਪ੍ਰਾਇਮਰੀ ਸੋਰਸ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਗੁਜ਼ਾਰਾ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਕੋਸ਼, ਕੋਈ ਡਿਕਸ਼ਨਰੀ ਫੜਨੀ ਪਏਗੀ, ਉਹ ਸੈਕੰਡਰੀ ਸੋਰਸ ਤੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੀ ਪਏਗਾ ਨਾ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਦੀ। ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਫਰਨਾਮਾ ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਇਮਰੀ ਸੋਰਸ ਖਾਲੀ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਲਓਗੇ? ਸੋ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਇਸ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੁਣ ਬਾਣੀ ਮਲਟੀ ਡਿਮੈਂਸ਼ਨਲ ਹੈ, ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਬਾਨਾਂ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇੰਟਰਪ੍ਰੀਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਐਟ ਦੀ ਐਂਡ ਆਫ ਦ ਡੇ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਦ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟ of today, right? We live in the current context, and we don't know the social context, the historical context in which Guru Sahib is writing a particular Shabad. So we are making a lot of assumptions that we can somehow arrive to the truth, and somehow the truth is absolute. So I think we need to acknowledge that our understanding will be imperfect, and this is what the Shabad is telling us कि ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅੱਖਰ ਨੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ, ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਰਨੇ ਆ, but we cannot circumscribe the Guru within language, because Guru is infinite.
ठीक है जी, I appreciate it. Ikonkar Kaur ji, do you want to add anything? I think this is bringing us some clarity here. I kind of like the way the discussion is going.
I mean, I think the only thing I'd like to add is that if the Guru is our Guru and each of us is a student, then the Guru is going to work with each of us where we're at. And there's no such thing as everybody agreeing, because there's no such thing as two students being on the same spot on the path. And when we share our experiences with each other, we're sharing as students. And I might say something that helps someone else where they're at, and someone may say something that helps me where I'm at. But I think it's an illusion, you know, because the Gurbani is between the student and the Guru. And you know, when I take my last breath, the only thing that matters is me and God. There's nothing else. There's no one else there. So that's the only thing I would add.
Okay, I think this was a good sort of robust, I think, discussion on how we ought to approach our weekly discussion. I would just want to sum it up by saying that Virji Charan Singh ji, to your initial observation, we have heard everyone on the panel express their opinions except Harvinder Singh, who actually summed up the discussion very well. I think in some ways we are doing it. In other ways, there is no getting around secondary sources. And then to Dilpreet Singh's point, we are all coming at it from our own filters. And to Ekunkarji's comment, I couldn't agree more with her. To suggest that we would find uniformity is really an illusion. There is not going to be any uniformity. However, what there will be is there will be breakthroughs for people based on listening to other people. So when I sit here and listen to you and to others, believe me, I get a lot of breakthrough moments. It shifts the way I understand Gurbani, and my hope is that this is what is happening to each one of us. So it seems to me, and everyone can sort of pipe in, that we need to continue this discussion along the lines that we are doing, acknowledging that we are coming at it differently. We have different experiences. Even our knowledge is, differently sort of leveled. But let's continue on the way we are. And then when we do hit concepts like Akri or Naam, or I said this the last time, we can actually park that and perhaps agree to have a more detailed discussion, let's say once every 6 weeks or once a quarter, on a central concept. Naam is obviously, a central foundational concept in Sikhi, and a lot of us obviously, we all struggle at our levels. Maybe we can say to ourselves, okay, we need to have these discussions the way we are, but take a pause and then go in depth into one discussion. Would that make sense? I take that to be a yes. Since I'm not hearing any objection, perhaps we can do that. And then what happens during that particular discussion is that we format it differently. We require a certain preparation, we require a certain study, and maybe we have two individuals have a dialogue and the others listen, and then follow it with a question and answer session. Would that make sense? I mean, I can take the action on maybe putting out a proposal to all of you in writing that says maybe this is what we do. Would that make sense?
I support that.
Okay. And since nobody's objecting, I take that to be a yes. And
No,
again,
I have
I
a,
think
I'm
Hanji Uncle Ji.
Ranveer
Hanji.
Singh Sandhu. I have a comment.
Hanji.
I think the present format that you're following is excellent. And this is because there is a variety of views, and I am learning a lot from that. Because if you're looking for a agreed to translation of the Gurbani, we may not get it. But on the other hand, I think all of us benefit by learning alternative views, and then this clarifies things in our own minds in our own way. And like Guru Sahib says, no, Jaisi madde tasa pragas. We are limited by our own intellect as to how much we can learn about Gurbani. But certainly discussions help. If we had a couple of persons doing a debate, I don't think we'll get anything out of it.
Yeah, Uncle, I didn't mean a debate, but I just felt that perhaps we ought to stop Vishram, at some of these more difficult concepts, ਜਿਹੜੇ foundational ne, like Naam, Hukam, Sabad, Guru. Uh, these are concepts that are loaded with meaning that we all absorb differently. Maybe some level setting around some of these concepts once in a while, if we took a pause from this discussion and had a more in-depth discussion on those. That's really what I was suggesting.
Yeah, we can do that, but on that the problem is we are all the time trying to translate, and there are no exact words in English which will correspond to precisely what Guru Sahib has used, and that's been our difficulty.
Hanji, maybe that might be the time for us to decolonize our minds, as Eko
Yeah.
Karji suggested. Perhaps that might be the occasion to shed off this colonization. I absolutely agree with her. I mean, I'm a product of the Macaulian, educational system, and I'm very conscious of the fact that I'm thinking in a way that is perhaps preventing me from a deeper understanding. And in my own small way, I'm trying to shed that. And I suppose all of us are sort of looking at ourselves. To me, there is nothing more fundamental than to be able to see your own seeing and your own thinking, and to be able to transform your perception that way. So yeah, that might be an opportunity to begin the process of decolonizing.
Can
What do
I
you say
add?
to that, Ekonkarji?
Can I add something here, please?
Anji, please.
So first of all, let me say that I'm getting a lot from the discussions over the last 6 months, and I've learned a lot. Thanks to everybody who has been participating. Second thing is about the format you're talking about. You just indicated if one person like who's very enlightened, like I see Karan Singh ji and Real Singh ji and Dr. Jaswant Singh ji, other people there, they can take over 10, 15 minutes on one podium and give the perspective. And then everybody gets clarification on that, focus on one subject like that, rather than having a debate. And
Yeah, initially, initially, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we had talked about that format, and we stayed away from it simply because there was a sense that this would turn into another vyakhya, and what we don't want is a vyakhya. What we want is an interchange, an exchange of ideas.
exactly, that's because that's exactly the point I have. It shouldn't be monologue, it has to be dialogue. Just give them 10 minutes only, let them be out. Then it's a question when I see people talking on television or radio and they talk and walk away, and I say, okay, I need clarification on that. We want to have these people who are enlightened cross question them so that we get the clarification. And that's the point I'm saying. It shouldn't be a monologue, it has to be a dialogue. And okay, and third thing you said about we should have discussion every 6 weeks or so about norms.
I'm just suggesting. I'm not prescribing
yes.
it. I'm
I'm just
suggesting.
making comment on that. It might be good for us to have a working definition of people who are enlightened. They can tell us what's the norm, and then it can evolve over time. So what we are looking at the stage, the working.
So I would recommend to you that we stay away from trying to elect the anointed ones here.
No, okay,
yeah, because we are sitting in a sangat and we are all ek saf ho ke baithe hain, and I think we should keep it that way, because then we'll get into the business of saying who is and who isn't. And I personally would want to stay away from that. But I don't know how others feel. I'll go along with how the majority feels.
Right. This is Dilpreet. When you give me 30 seconds, okay? I wanted to share.
Hanji,
again, from the secondary sources, okay? I was reading the book, The Spirit-Born People by Puran Singh, and in that he is mentioning the Sadh Sangat, okay? And I was very inspired, I think. I was inspired reading that is what is happening in our forum or in this discussion. So in that he was saying that it is a unique thing that Guru's Sadh Sangat was different from the previous or whatever was there. He is saying the Sadh is one lost and Sangat is one gained, as many as the all. Okay, and then he was saying in this book he is writing the all becoming the image of one and the one becoming the image of all. And I was very inspired that okay, this is what he wrote and this is what is happening here, because we are learning from each other, and this disagreements will lead us, it will challenge us, and it will make us think, and at the end we all will evolve. So
absolutely.
I think it is perfect.
Absolutely. And Sangat itself means to move things together, to come together and move. So, and I think that we are doing that. Does anybody else have anything to say? Because we are out of time actually.
ਵੀਰ ਜੀ ਰਵਿੰਦਰ ਪਾਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹੋਸਟਿੰਗ ਵੇ ਮਾਰਵਲਸ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਹੋਸਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਲਰਨਿੰਗ ਮੈਂ ਪਰਸਨਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਟੀਕੇ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਟੈਕਸਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਵਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਕ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵੇ ਬਿਊਟੀਫੁਲ ਹੈ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਹਰ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਰੀਜ਼ਨ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਕੰਟੈਕਸਟ ਤੇ ਰਹੇ ਤੇ ਨਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵਿਆਖਿਆ ਦੇ ਨਜ਼ਦੀਕ ਰਹਿਣ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ। ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ
ਜੀ ਜੀ
ਜੇਕਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਬਸ ਕੰਟੈਕਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹੀਏ, ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ। ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੀ, ਉਹ ਨਾ ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟਲੀ ਸੰਗਤੀ ਦਾ ਅਰਥ ਹੀ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਸੰਗ ਗਤੀ, ਕਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਨਾਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਤੁਰਨਾ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਵੈਲੋਸਿਟੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਵਰਗੀ ਹੈ। ਔਰ ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਿਊਟੀਫੁਲ ਹੈਗਾ। ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਨਾਲ ਆਹੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹ ਵਧੀਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੋਸਟ ਕਰੋ ਔਰ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਕੰਟੈਕਸਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖੋ। ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਮਾਰਵਲਸ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਭਾਜੀ।
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ। Acha ji, I think we are over our time, allotted time. I want to thank everyone for coming on and expressing themselves freely. This has been absolutely marvelous. And thank you, Charan Singh Veer ji, for challenging us to think differently. I think I'm certainly deriving a great deal of benefit from these discussions, as are all of you. So let's continue on, and gradually we'll all get to where we all have to get to. I will conclude. I don't know whether this is accurate or not, but I sent a note to a friend of mine, a non-Sikh friend, who on his birthday 2 days ago, and he sent me a note back which he alleged was a translation from Gurbani. And he said, I really like this from your scripture. And it said, I may not be in the place where I want to be, but I'm in the place where I need to be. Now, I can't find the reference to that, but I thought, regardless of where it is from, I like that a great deal. So I think we are where we need to be. So with that, Fateh Parwan Karni ji, Waheguru ji ka Khalsa,
Waheguru ji ki
Khalsa, Waheguru ji ki Fateh.